New Zealand's one-run victory over England will forever be remembered as being an absolute win for the ages, not only due to the fact that, of course, New Zealand looked down and out for most of this test, but also due to the fact that England's baseball machine, which has been rolling along as one big unstoppable juggernaut, has been defeated in such fashion and in the closest of margins. Of course, questions will be asked about the baseball approach, as well as, the kind of approach that New Zealand took. It will be lauded, no doubt. But for now, in this video, our focus is going to be on what are the interesting statistical, milestones that were accomplished in this particular test match that happened, of course, thanks to the win, as well as other things. So without further ado, let's just check in and look at what were the interesting statistical milestones that were reached after this particular test match. Now, the first one, and this one probably needs no introduction, is the fact that this was only the fourth test match that was ever won after a side was asked to follow on. So the first time that a team won a test match after following on was England all the way back in 1894, and it took nearly a century after that with England doing the same against the very same opposition, this time though at Headingley. The third instance of such a phenomena happening where a team was asked to follow on, then ended up on the victorious side, came of course in that very famous test in Kolkata against Australia, where India, despite following on, ended up winning by a very slim margin. Now, this one is the fourth instance where a team were put in to follow on and then ended up on the winning side. So, New Zealand versus England at Wellington joins a very illustrious list of test matches which will forever be remembered by everyone who is a lover of the game. But this isn't the only interesting stat that comes out from here, because of course not. There were lots of interesting stats that came out. The other one is that New Zealand are now the third team to have won a test match after being put in to follow on. Of course, as we proved to you, England were the team that won the first two of such tests against the very same opposition, Australia. India did the same against Australia again in 2001, and now New Zealand have in fact gone on to become only the third team to have won a test match after following on. Beyond that, of course, there's so much more, because this is of course now an unwanted first for England, because if you were going through the earlier stats, you'll realize that England are now only the second team to lose a test match after enforcing the following on. Why is that the case? Because, well, the first three test matches which were lost by a side enforcing the following on was Australia. England had beaten Australia in the first two of those test matches, and India beat, of course, Australia in Kolkata in 2001. So the first three test matches that were won in such fashion were all, it ended with Australia on the losing side. This time around, the team that ends up on the losing side is the team that had ended up on the winning side of such matches on the first two occasions. Beyond that, there is of course, the fact that this is only the second ever test match that has been won by a nation by the margin of one run. And this comes after a nearly 30-year gap, because the only other time that a team won a test match by one run, in fact, was when West Indies beat Australia at Adelaide all the way back in 1993. And now, as I said, 30 years later, you have New Zealand who have beaten England at Wellington in 2023, and this is the only two times that a test match has been won by the margin of just one single run. So this is a rare occurrence indeed. In fact, it was so rare that before today, this hadn't actually even happened in the history of test match cricket, but it has now, and once again just proves that test cricket, well, it's very, very much alive and well, and we don't need to worry about its health for at least the foreseeable future. That being said though, we have some more. New Zealand now have actually established that despite their rather mixed form away from home, they remain very much a massive side who can do good things at home. In fact, this test series draw ensures that New Zealand have now not been defeated in home conditions in a test match since the 2016-17 season. That is a run of nearly 7 years at this point, and it doesn't look like it's going to be stopping anytime soon, because even though their white ball fortunes can sometimes be mixed, in tests, it must not be forgotten that as things stand, New Zealand are still very much the holders of the World Test Championship mace. They won't be defending that title, but they still will go down as the inaugural winners, and that happened, of course, all the way back only in 2021. But they are also the first team to actually beat this particular England team. And when I say England, I don't just mean England in general. I mean the England of the baseball era England. They're the first team to actually beat this current England team that have been coached by Ben Stokes and Brendan McCullum in the fourth innings. Generally speaking, when the test matches have reached the fourth innings in the past, England have turned out to be victorious under the Ben Stokes and Baz McCullum, coach and captain duo. This though is the first time that this particular England team have come up short in the fourth innings, and what a way to come up short, because they came up short by only 1 run. And that's it for the particularly interesting statistical quirks and milestones that were reached in this particular test match. If you know of any other interesting ones, you can let us know in the comments below. For now, thank you all so much for joining us. Again, if you enjoy our work, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that notifications bell, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and don't forget to download the SportsTech app. Thank you all once again for joining us. If you enjoy our work, you can also go ahead and check out some of the other videos that we've done on our channel, and stay tuned to Sports Today throughout the day for more such breaking news and interesting videos. Now though, from our sides, goodbye.